Hello everyone, welcome back to Believers IAS Academy. This is the 400 plus GS series for mains. Today we'll finish it off with the GS2 important committees. Yesterday we did with the polity. Today GS2 social justice and important committees, and also then we'll do with important committees related to IR, and with this we'll end GS2. And tomorrow we'll start with GS3 and then GS4. So important committees for social justice. The topic is government policies and interventions. So committees are Second Administrative Reforms Commission or ARC, which you might have already heard about it. Second ARC is one of the important committees with respect to government policies and interventions. It is a comprehensive review of governance and delivery of welfare schemes. Recommendations are outcome oriented governance, promoting of e-governance, decentralization to local bodies or states, and citizen charter for accountability. So this can be used in GS2 as well as GS4. That is why it is very important. Mnemonic is ARC, anyways, administrative reform catalyst, which you will be remembering anyways. Usage in answers on government reforms, efficient delivery, public service accountability, and issues with respect to citizen charter. Very important. And also with respect to local bodies or any question regarding federalism. Okay, you can use this in all these aspects. Next, with respect to government policies and interventions, the second committee is Niti Aayog's Sustainable Development Goals India Index. The report is from 2018 to present. So what it does is it measures India's progress on sustainable development goals, including social justice parameters. It provides state-wise SDG scorecards. With this, it is improving competitive federalism. What is it? Competitive federalism. Next, it focuses on health, education, and gender equality. It encourages competitive federalism. It is given already, and it is focused on targeted interventions in lagging states. Okay. Next, SDG, so state driving goals, and again useful for answers linking welfare schemes to measurable outcomes. Okay, and also this can be used in any questions which talks about the importance of Niti Aayog or importance of competitive or cooperative federalism. Next, with respect to role of NGOs, SSGs or groups, the committee was Kudumbashri Mission Evaluation Committee of Kerala 2019. Kudumbashri Mission or Kudumbashri scheme was related to Kerala government, which focused on NGOs and SSGs. Aim is review of women-led SSG, that is self-help groups, model for poverty alleviation. Recommendations are financial inclusion via self-help groups, capacity building for entrepreneurship, convergence of this scheme with government schemes, social capital building. Okay, all these aspects were addressed by Kudumbashri Mission. It was just the evaluation of this Kudumbashri Mission. Next, use in women empowerment, rural livelihoods, SSG role in development, or best practices by states. Next, for welfare of the vulnerable sections, so important committee is Saksham Committee. It was about review of schemes for persons with disabilities. Okay, so universal disability ID was provided under this scheme, inclusive education, reservations in job, and skill development programs. So persons with disability, to turn them into persons with dignity, you can use this PWD, from persons with disabilities towards persons with dignity. A catchy conclusion can be the answer. Use in answers on disability rights and inclusion. Next is with welfare of vulnerable sections again. Justice J.S. Verma Committee, which we already discussed many times. This was post 2013 Nirbhaya rape case. So criminal law amendments, police accountability, gender sensitization, speedy trial mechanism, along with marital rape. Okay, everything was given by Justice Verma Committee. Verma is about violence eradication and reform for women's assurance. used in women's safety, legal reforms, and gender justice. Okay. Next is with respect to social sector, that is health. So important committees is the Bohr Committee of 1946. So it was very significant because it provided blueprint for public health systems in India. So the recommendations are it provided three-tier health system, emphasizes on preventive care. See, the recommendations were provided in 1946, but they are still relevant to this day as well. Okay, though the recommendations are provided, what we are focused on, we are focused more on curative care rather than preventive care. Okay, next, integration of curative and preventive services and strengthening of primary health centers because they are the first responders in health issues. Next, BOR is basic health organizing reform. Okay. Next, use in health system reforms or any question with respect to Ayushman Bharat context or anything with respect to elders, anything with respect to non-communicable diseases, etc., etc. Okay. Next, with respect to health again, National Health Policy Drafting Committee of 2017. So this was a old news, but again, just have a have an idea about it. Increase health spending to 2.5% of the GDP. Focus on preventive care, universal health coverage, and digital health records. All these things were covered by this National Health Policy Drafting Committee. Heal. What is this heal? Health, health for everyone at large. Sorry, excuse us. Then, useful in answers in healthcare and policy vision. Next is education. In education, important committees Kothari Commission of 1964-66, comprehensive review of education system, common school system. The recommendations were common school system and promotion of vocational training, which is very important even in today's context because India is going through the phase of demographic dividend. So, in order to avoid this demographic dividend into disasters, we need to convert the youth into skilled individuals. Okay. Next, 6% GDP for education, but it has not been met at despite the committee being so low, like very archaic in nature, so ancient in nature from 1964-66. The recommendations are still relevant to this day and equality of access to education. Kothari, so knowledge of the highest academic reform ideas. Use in education reforms, NEP 2020 linkages. Okay. Next, with respect to poverty and hunger, committee is Tendulkar committee. It focused on redefining poverty measurement. So, consumption based poverty line, inclusion of health and education expenditure, separate rural, urban cutoffs, and regular poverty surveys. All these things are provided under Tendulkar committee. This was very important. Consumption based poverty line based on the calories. Okay, number of calorie intake. The poverty line was modified. Tendulkar or Tendu, that is tracking economic needs and development updates. Use in poverty, SDG 1 and welfare targeting. Okay. Next, in social justice, in the last committee is poverty and hunger. Important committee was Rangarajan Committee 2024. It was again to review the estimation of poverty methodology. It provided for higher poverty line than the Tendulkar Committee. It was based on nutrition-based thresholds. It was very comprehensive. Broader inclusion of essential goods and state-specific poverty lines. So, Ranga raising all national growth and the use in again similar to the above one. Okay, so these are the important committees with respect to social justice in GS2. Okay, for if you think any committees have been missed in this particular video, you can check out the previous videos. I have covered more important committees in the previous videos and also covered certain committees in GS1 society as well. So any committee you think which are important and are not missing here, you might find in other videos. Okay, so check out the series. Now, important committees with respect to international relations. So, in important committees with respect to international relations, the first committee is with respect to India and its neighborhood. India and its neighborhood is going through a phase of turmoil. Okay, see for example, India with respect to Pakistan, recent Palgam attack. Okay, in Pakistan, recent Palgam attack. India with respect to Bangladesh. In Bangladesh, there was a regime change, so more of a coup. And this new regime wants Sheikh Hasina to be extradited, and India, on the humanitarian ground, doesn't want to extradite Sheikh Hasina. So the issues are there with Bangladesh as well. Now take with Nepal. Nepal and India are going head to head with respect to this Kalapani border and other with respect to Madheshi. Okay, all the other issues. Now, if you come to Sri Lanka, Sri Lanka went through a kind of economic crisis and it was bailed out by China. So, Chinese influence is very high in Sri Lanka. Next, what are the other neighbors? Other important neighbors is Myanmar. In Myanmar, they are already going through military coup. So, they are also issue. There is also issue. And then, if you come to China, India and China are going head to head with respect to many of the aspects. And China's focus on building dam on Brahmaputra is going to be a very significant issue in the future. And then, so all these things are going on, and all the turmoil is going on with respect to international relations. So, this first committee for the day, that is Kargil Review Committee, is with respect to India and its neighborhood. So, the committee is KRC committee, and it was chaired by K. Subramaniam. You can write as a K. Subramaniam committee. Post Kargil conflict to review national security and preparedness and neighborhood strategy. Recommendations are creation of intelligence agency, integration of service headquarters with Ministry of Department Defense, strengthening border management. This can be still important recommendations considering border influx from Bangladesh. Okay. Next, use in answers in neighborhood security and border issues. So very important committee. And then is Sham Saran Task Force on Nepal policy. Okay, if there is a question, especially asking about India and Nepal relations, which is highly unlikely, but there can be chances. India's neighborhood policy review after the political transition in Nepal. That is, the recommendations were deepen economic engagement, support democratic institutions, enhance cross-border infrastructure. Okay, so SS is stronger with the Saran. Use answers in India and Nepal relations. Next is with respect to bilateral, regional, and global groupings. In bilateral, the first grouping is High Level Committee on India Gulf Cooperation 2014. Aim is to examine trade, energy, and diaspora welfare in Gulf Cooperation Commission countries. Okay, GCC countries. So, aim is strengthening security pacts, expand defense cooperation, and protect rights of Indian workers. Okay, this is one of the point of context between India and the Middle Eastern countries. So, India is very important partner to Middle Eastern countries, be it security, be it economy, be it trade, etc., etc. So, this committee can be used in your answers using India and Gulf relations. Any committee of the Gulf, for example, Saudi Arabia, be it Oman, be it Qatar. Okay, any question with respect to this, you can use it in your answers. Next is SK Lamba Committee on Indo-Pakistan Trade Normalization 2012. So not very relevant, but just have an idea. That is expand MFN trade list, but it is not relevant now because Pakistan has been removed from MFN status, that is most favored nation status, and improve Wagah and Munabao facilities, use banking channels for trade. So Indo-Pakistan relations. Next is policies and politics of developed or developing countries. So first is a National Security Advisory Board reports. It provides periodic recommendations on foreign policy in context of changing global politics. This can be very important in this year's mains answers because the world is going to a global geopolitical crisis. Okay, geopolitical crisis. What are the crises? You can talk about Ukraine-Russia war, Israel-Palestine, and also most of the biggest concern at the world is Trump administered USA. The Trump formatted protectionism, make in America great, etc., etc., is having an impact not only on America but also on the world. So there is a geopolitical concerns or crisis going on in the world. So this committee or these recommendations can be very important. So The recommendations of National Security Advisory Board report is diversifying the energy imports. This is what India went for. India tried to diversify the energy imports and went from Middle East to Russia, and it started importing more. Now Trump says that India is uh, importing from Russia and then selling it to other countries. So India is using this situation of Ukraine and Russia what to its advantages. So he put 25% tariff and then it increased to the 50% tariff. But now renegotiations are going. Okay, this is what about Trump. So you can use here diversifying the energy imports, engage in ministerial groupings, prepare for tech related security challenges. So very important. This recommendations is very still relevant in current context as well. So next is NSAB, that is National Strategy Ahead Blueprint, used in global politics, impact on India. Next is Raghuram Rajan Committee on Financial Sector Reforms. So he was the previous RBI head or RBI director, RBI commissioner. So we'll see. It has global relevance in foreign investment and currency stabilization. RBI governor he was. Okay. Next, liberalize FDI, foreign direct investment, strengthen regulatory frameworks, and manage external account prudently. So these are the recommendations. This you can use in your GS3 answer as well in economy. RR is reforms and resilience with respect to financial sectors. Use in economic diplomacy answers. Next, with respect to Indian diaspora, the first committee is High Level Committee on Indian Diaspora, that is also called as LM Sanghvi Committee. So it dealt with comprehensive review of the diaspora policy. This LM Sanghvi Committee not only dealt with diaspora but also dealt with Panchayat Raj system. Okay, Panchayat Raj system that we already discussed again. Establishing person of Indian origin or OCA card holders, overseas citizenship India card holders, create Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, and engage diaspora in investment and culture. All these things have been implemented already. So very important committee. Next is using diaspora related policies. Next is with respect to Ministry of External Affairs Expert Committee on Gulf Indian Workers. It was a world committee but still relevant to this day as well. Stronger labor agreements, pre-departure orientation, and overseas worker insurance. All these things are covered under Ministry of External Affairs Committee on Gulf Affairs. So Gulf Care Contacts, awareness committees and empowerment. You can use in answers with respect to diaspora protection, especially with respect to West Asia or Gulf countries. Okay. Next, with respect to international institution and fora. First is Swaran Singh Committee on WTO and Agriculture in 2003. Its aim was to examine India's negotiating stance in WTO talks. The recommendations were do whatever the stance you are going to take with respect to WTO, but most paramount thing here is protecting the food security. Resist TRIPS plus obligations, demand fair subsidies by developed nations. Okay, this is very relevant to this day because WTO is basically has become dysfunctional because of tactics of USA. The elections are not happening and the WTO members are also not being filled. Okay, WTO is we trade on fair terms, but not really. They are not trading on fair terms because they are more more close towards or more biased towards developed countries. Use in trade diplomacy, and finally, Justice Dalvir Bhandari ICJ judgments and reports. Okay, very important. Where you can use in strengthen India's legal diplomacy in ICJ and UN, proactive participation in ICJ case, build capacity in international law, promote rules-based order. So Bhandari is build harmony. Okay, these are important committees which you can use in our answers. This ends our discussion for GS2. If you like the video, then please hit the like button, comment on it, and also share with your friends. So in the coming videos, we'll cover GS3 completely, and then we will do some important thing for GS4, where we'll cover important aspects you can from Bhagavad Gita, you can use from Bhagavad Gita, Quran, Bible, or important thinkers. Okay, I will make a video about important thinkers such as Immanuel Kant and his principles or ideology, or Gandhiji and his principles and ideology, and important ethical frameworks and where you can use these ethical frameworks. Okay, so all these things will be covered in one video, so which is going to be very important or helpful for your GS3. Okay, So with this, I will end the video. If you have any doubts, you can write in the comment box. And if you like the video, then please hit the like button, comment on it, and also share with your friends. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon so that you don't miss any notification. With this, I will end the video. Jai Hind.